Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time coming across this channel, my name is Grace, and on this channel I share sewing tutorials. In today's tutorial we're going to be learning how to cut and sew this very simple palazzo pants that is not too wide, neither is it too fitted. This pants also have side pockets and a waistband. So if this is something that you are interested in, dig into the video and make sure you watch till the end. Don't also forget to like, share and comment, and also subscribe to this YouTube channel. Now with no further ado, let's get into the video and start learning. I'm going to be making use of a crepe fabric for this palazzo pants, and I folded my fabric into two like this. And when you fold your fabric into two, make sure that what you have on fold is your hip measurement divided by 4 plus 4 extra inches or 5 inches. Then from the top of my fabric, I'm going to take off what I'll use as my band, which is 1.5 inch, and I'll take my other measurement from there. So the measurement I'm taking first is my hip line measurement, which is at 8 inches. So I'm just marking that and I'll draw a straight line across. Then, still taking note of the 1.5 inch for the band, I'm going to take my next measurement, which is my crouch line, and that would be at 11 inches for me. So to get your crouch line, sit on a flat surface and measure from your waist down to that flat surface. The next measurement I'm going to take now is my knee line. So from the waist, I'm going to measure down to where my knee line is. Mine is at 23 inches, so I'll mark that, still taking note of the 1.5 inch on the waistline for the band. So I'm also going to draw a straight line across. So normally when we are drafting a palazzo pants, we don't usually take the knee line, but because of this is going to be a palazzo pants that is not too big and we need even distribution, that is why we need the knee line. So I'm also taking the last line, which is the full length of this pants. So make sure that you take yours at your full length and add extra about 3 inches to that. So I'm just labeling my lines. So that's my hip, this is my crouch line, this is the knee line, and the hand here is the full length of the pant. So make sure it's very long at the full length, because it's good when your palazzo is reaching and touching the floor. So on the hip line here, I'm going to place my hip measurement divided by 4, and I'm going to add 1/2 inch to that. So my hip measurement divided by 4 is 10 inches plus 1/2 inch, that's 10.5. And on the waistline also, I placed that 10.5 inches, and I'm going to also place that 10.5 inches on the crouch line. And I'll connect those 3 points together now with a straight line. Now to get my crouch extension, on this crouch line, I'll measure whatever I have, and I'm going to be dividing that into 4. So place your tape, measure what you have, divide it into 2 like this, and also divide it again into 2. So you've successfully divided it into 4, and place what you have on that crouch line to get your extension. Now at this corner, come up by 1 inch and connect that from the hip line to that 1 inch you came out by to that crouch extension that we just marked. So that's just how to get the crouch extension. Now on my waistline, I'm going to be placing my waist measurement divided by 4. So mine is 8 inches, and I'm just going to be adding 1/2 inch for allowance over there. Then connect that point down to the hip line with a cuff. So I'm not going to be creating a dart for this pants because I don't want it to have a dart. So on this crouch line, from the beginning to the end of the extension like this, I'm going to divide what I have into 2 to be able to get the midpoint of this pants to allow for even distribution. So when I marked the midpoints like that, I'm going to measure what I have in between that point like this, and I'll place it on the knee line, and I'll also place it on the hip line and on the full length of this pant. So this is just to serve as the midpoint of the pant, and so that when we are placing our measurement, is going to be equal and evenly distributed. So I'm just placing that same midpoint on the full length of the pant, and I'll look for a point here to place it so that I will have something straight all the way to the end. So after doing this, on this knee line, I'm going to be coming in by 1 inch, and on the knee line on this side, I'll come in by 1 inch also. So from the crouch extension like this, I'm going to connect over to that 1 inch that I came in by, and I will also curve from my hip down to the knee line on that side also. So this is what it looks like. Then on the full length also, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come in by 1 inch on both sides. So this is just to have equal and even distribution all the way around these pants, and make sure that it's not too big. You know, normally when we are working with our palazzo pants, we just go all the way down without taking any form of inches inside. So this is just to make sure that it is equal on both sides and it is not too big. Now on this waistline, I'm going to be coming down from that side by half an inch, and I'll connect with a slant together like this. So this is just to avoid gaping when I had my band at the end of the day. So this is what I have for the front, and I'll just go ahead now and cut this out. So I'm cutting the front out directly like this, and I'll be adding the necessary allowance at the back. So I'm just cutting that crouch curve area and also trimming off that half an inch at the top. So I'm going to label this the front. Then to cut out the back, I'm going to be placing this front piece on another piece of fabric that is wider and longer. So I'm going to be leaving allowance at the top like this and also at the sides. So I went ahead to pin it together. So on this front, I will be coming in by 1.5 inches. And from that 1.5 inches, I'll go up by another 1.5 inches. If you're on a bigger side at this point, you can go up by 2 inches. So I'm replacing the 1.5 inches I took in at the other side like this. Then with a slant line, I'm going to be connecting that 1.5 inches at the top to the one at the side like that. So I've created the waistline for the back, and on the hip line, I came out by 1 inch and I connected that to the waistline, and also on the crouch curve line I did 1 inch also. So on this crouch extension line, I'm going to be extending the back crouch because it's going to be longer than the front. So I'm extending it by 2 inches. If you are bigger, you can extend it by 2.5 inches, and I'm connecting that to the hip, and I'll also connect it to the line that we already have on the waist like this. So I've created a crouch for the back also. Then on this side, I'm just going to connect this directly to that knee line all the way like this. So I'm just arranging this so that it stands perfectly. And also on the other side, I'm going to also connect to the knee line. So the trick behind this is that when I connect this to the knee line, from that side downward, from the knee line downward, every other thing is going to be the same thing on both the front and the back. So it's going to give this kind of fitted palazzo shape that is not too wide, neither is it too small, but it is very equal at the downside. So I hope you understand that there won't be allowance at the down part from the knee area. So this is what I have on the back, and because I'm going to be placing the zipper for this trouser at the back, I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches for allowance at that crouch area. So I'm just measuring 1.5 inches all the way, I'm going to do that until about 8 inches. Yes, I'm marking it up to 8 inches. You can do more than that if the zip you want to use is longer, but I think that 8 inches is just okay. So this is my zip allowance. So you can see that it's not straight, it's following the crouch area of the back. So I'm just going to go ahead now and trace this out all the way. So this is how the back piece looks like. So I'm left with the zipper allowance on the crouch area also. So now to cut out the pockets of this pants, I'm going to be placing my tape at the side of the front like this, and I'm using 7 inches long and 2 inches wide at the side. Then I connected those together and I'll cut this side out. So my pocket is 7 inches long and 2 inches wide. Then to cut out the pocket pieces, I'm folding my fabric into two like this, and mine is 8 inches wide like this and 10 inches long. So if you want yours to be deeper, you can make it like 12 inches long. I think that's okay. So I'm going to be cutting this squared shape out, and this fabric is in a fold. So this is like 2 pieces. Then I'm going to cut out exactly the same thing again to make my pieces 4. I hope you understand that. I'm going to be explaining now so you get to understand better. So first I'm going to be placing one of those folded pockets like this under the pant area, just the way you see me doing it here, and I will arrange it to make sure that it aligns very well. Then I will trace off the pocket shape parts. Then I will now place the second one under again like this, and make sure that it also aligns with everything, both the one I have at the back already and also the pants at the top and at the side like this. And if I have any excesses at the side like this, I'm going to trace it out. Then I'm going to separate the folds at the back so that I have 4 pieces of 4 pockets like this. So I'm just taking the pins off and I will arrange them together. So we have 4 pieces and I'll place them together like this. Then I'll just be using my scissors to carve out that pocket shape. If you don't want to do this, it's totally optional, but I'm just cutting out that pocket like curved shape. Now that's basically all for the cutting of the pocket. So moving on to cutting of the band, I'm just going to be measuring how long I want the band to be. So I have about 34 inches over there, and that's enough. Then for the width, I'm going to be cutting out 4 inches. Remember that my band measures 1.5 inches, and if I want to fold my band into 2, I'm going to be needing 3 inches to fold into 2 to make 1.5. Then I made it 4 inches so that I will have a sewing allowance of ½ inch on both sides. So I'm going to set that aside, and now it's time to join the trouser pieces together. So I'm placing the front right sides facing each other like this, and I'm going to sew the crouch area first with ½ inch seam allowance. So after I was done sewing it, this is what I have when I opened it up. Then I'll go ahead to fix my pockets. So I'm going to be fixing the side that is uncut first. So I'm placing them right sides facing each other like this, and I'll go ahead to the sewing machine and stitch with ½ inch seam allowance. So I'm just using my pins to secure the sides that I'm going to sew down, and I'll head ahead to the sewing machine and sew it. So after fixing that part of the trouser, I'm just cutting off the excesses, as you can see me doing it like this. And I'm also going to go ahead and notch it so that when I turn it over and I iron it, it's going to stay really nice and really flat. So before I join the other parts, I'm going to go ahead, turn it like this, and I'll press it a little. So I'm just going to use my hot iron to press that side, And when I was done, this is what I have. Now to place the second part of the pocket, I'm just going to open it up like this. Then I'll place the other side, right sides facing each other like this, making sure that the edges are facing each other correctly. I mean the curved edges like that. Then I'm just using my pins to secure it together. Then I'll sew it all the way around. So after I'm done sewing, I will have something like this on both sides. What I do to one side, I'll also do to the other side. So I'm going to head ahead now to the sewing machine and sew that down. After I was done sewing it, this is what I have on both sides. So I'm just trying to pass my hands into the pocket to see if it's staying really nice. So to give shape to this area, I'm going to measure 2.5 inches away from there. Remember that what we use to measure the width of the pocket is 2 inches. So I'm just adding half an inch to that and cutting it out. So I'm going to do the same thing also on the other side, making sure I have at least 2.5 inches. So the half inch is going to be for the joining at the end of the day. So the front of the pant is ready like this, and then I'll move to joining the back. So for the back, I've also placed the two pieces right sides facing each other like this, and I'm going to sew from this side up to the crouch depth area, and I'll go ahead and fix my zipper. So I'm just using my pins to kind of demonstrate what I mean. So when I sew this area down like this and I open it up, then I'll go ahead and fix my zipper directly. So when I was done, this is what I have here. So this zip is already staying flat on the back piece, and now it's time to join it together with the front piece. So I'm going to place them right sides facing each other like this again, and I'm going to join this crouch area first. So I'm going to match up the two crouch line for both the front and the back. Then I'll sew from the middle to one side using half an inch seam allowance, and also from the middle to the other side. So after I was done sewing the crouch area, this is what I have. And now it's time to go ahead and sew the sides. So I'm just basically going to use my measurements to sew the sides, and I'll make sure that I'm not using too much allowance at the sides at the down. Just maybe 1 inch is enough. So when I was done and I turned it to the other side like this, this is what the pants is looking like. So it's almost ready. What is left now is to add the band. So for my band, I went ahead to iron it like this, and I also put interfacing. So I ironed it into 2 to make it really nice, and I also folded half an inch on both edges. So to get to fix it on my pants on the waist area, the first thing I'm going to do is to turn it like this, make sure it's facing the right side together, and I'll head ahead to the sewing machine to give it a top stitch on the both sides to secure the edges. Then I'm going to turn it over. So when I was done, this is what I have. So I've turned the edges on both sides like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and fix it on my waistline. So to do this, I'm going to start from inside of these pants. So I'm going to be fixing the band inside out, and I'm going to make sure I leave about 1 inch of the band from the first edge. Then I'll sew it all the way around the waist from the left side, I mean from the wrong side of the pants. Then when I'm done, I will now turn it to the right side. So this is what I mean. So when I was done sewing it on the wrong side, this is what I have. So I'm going to now turn this band over to the right side like this and give it a top stitch all the way around, making sure it covers all the rough edges. So I'm just going to head ahead to the sewing machine now and give this a top stitch all around, and that's basically all for fixing the band. So can you see how it's going to cover all the rough edges? So just stitch it closely to the pant area, and this is what I have. So can you see how the band is looking like? So I have this overlap at the back, and I'm going to be using a hook and eye to just finish up that place. Now this is how nicely the pocket is sitting, and also can you see the end of the pant, how equal it is? So this is the beauty of using the method that we used. So the last thing is just to tape in the end of these pants, and this is basically all for the sewing of this palazzo pants. Now this is the final look of the trouser. Thank you for watching. If you have found this video helpful so far, kindly give it a thumbs up, comment and share. Don't also forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on your notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever I post helpful tutorials like this. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.